Cool. So, just going back to what we were talking about on Saturday. It was pretty much. It was to, we were pretty much at a point where. Let me see. Hold on. Monday. I don't remember marking this out. Hold on. Oh, that's crazy. I actually marked that out, and I didn't even pay attention to it. Oh well. Oh, I think we talked about that on. Did we talk about this on Saturday? Cause market open is here. No, we didn't. Oh, okay, well that worked out then. Let me just show you what I was thinking here then. Yeah, pretty much just inefficiency fill here, 15-minute continuation. So, but we were talking about on Saturday was pretty much that although we were pretty much struggling to, here's market open, we're pretty much showing not an unwillingness, but it just showing a lot of effort to continue lower, even though it was bearish structure still. And I remember saying that as long as structure is maintained, then this has every reason to continue. So pretty much just looking at what happened on Sunday was, let's pull this up here. Right, so equal highs. Right, very, very obvious there. And from there, just an inefficiency fill right after. Probably like 1 to 2 hours, is it? Actually, right before, a couple hours before London session. All right, we filled inefficiency there, tapped an SC, and from there you continued lower, which is exactly what we wanted to see. But what was curious to me was on EU was I wanted to see how we would react as soon as we hit this, previous high, and as you can see, it just plain out took it out. Whereas DXY still has room to continue, which is a good sign for the euro. Oh, excuse me. So as you can see, dollar still has a way to go. So the bias is still the same. We have every reason to believe this is going to keep going. This has no reason to stop. We already pulled back. We've been talking about that pullback for weeks, how there's so much effort behind that once the effort is unsustainable, then you're going to see the opposite direction, hit very violently, and which is exactly what you're seeing now. And then from there, it's just like this has every reason to continue. Just looking at playing out structure here, right? We had consecutive highs, right? And then a lower high, pretty much broke there, maintained. Now we are in bearish structure. So any pullback is a very good continuation. Hopefully, I hope this week closes extremely bearish so that next week we can hopefully get a retracement and then just sell this for the rest of the quarter. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, the bias, it's been the same. I can't really tell you guys anything else. It's been the same for the past March, April, May, June. It's 4.5 months, almost 5 months now that we've been with this bias. Pretty much since the group started, I've been with this bias, and that goes the same for EURUSD. I'm not even looking at it because I really want to see, a decent pullback, just so I can then swing it to the next target. So honestly, hopefully for the rest of the week, I hope we either go up here and stay, and then hopefully next week come back, fill in efficiency, and then continue higher. That would be lovely. Just it makes all the sense in the world. It supports our bias, and et cetera, et cetera. But the reason why I've been more interested in GBP is because looking at the daily chart here, this already gave a move to the upside, right? We had the opportunities to get in here, right? We talked about that for weeks, that we had all the opportunities to get in there. Whereas GBP is kind of stalling, right? If we look at the other dollar pairs, all right, let's look at NU, for example. Look at how this is already rallying. AUDUSD is already rallying. Right, where's USHEF? Right, USHEF is giving its move to the downside. UCAD is kind of stalling too. This one still has plenty of room. Whereas GU, as you can see, it's still stalling, right? And the main catalyst there was pretty much Euro GBP, whereas this has been stalling. So the cool thing here is there's still time. So that's why I've just been accumulating, you know, as many orders as I can, just to hold that for the rest of the quarter at least, and just take it to the moon from there. What I hate about Euro GBP though was the fact that this happened, right? Pretty much a morning star there, and we could see a continuation higher, which is bad for GU. Well, not necessarily bad. Well, actually, yes, bad, because if we start coming down here, then we have now failed to break a previous high, so that means bearish structure is now intact. So the next, pretty much the rest of this week, you know, just be weary, and that's going to be, you know, probably the main, the deciding factor is what happens for the next 2-3 days. But we did get opportunities in the intraday this week, right, which was, right, so market open is here, and pretty much what I showed you guys on the previous markups, right, the reason why I even took a position outside of my trading hours was because of the whole schematic completing. I know majority of you have already seen this, right? So we had our entire schematic fill, pre-supply, setting climax, automatic rally that now creates your, you know, the top of your range, secondary test, spring, that now creates the bottom of your range. So now from there you find equilibrium, and you try to pretty much find opportunities and while maintaining above that equilibrium. So as you can see here, tiny inefficient pricing, that would have been almost impossible to catch. So just from there, the inefficiency fill here is much more realistic, or this one is much more realistic. When not only realistic, but more probable, just because structure is already shifting here. The optimism is shown. The initial structure break is here. Higher lows are occurring, right? We now had a bullish impulse that pretty much took out a previous high and didn't reject immediately, but instead maintained a previous low, created a range. All they did from there was take out a previous low to then continue higher, right? So pretty self-explanatory. And then from a, you know, from a different perspective, right? Bearish channel, POI, inefficiency fill, BOS here, came back, inefficiency fill here, and that took it to the moon. So I mean, pretty self-explanatory, you know, just kind of a textbook setup, honestly. And today we were even given another opportunity where we tapped previous high, but unfortunately this was literally at 4 something in the morning, because I woke up and price, let's see, when I woke up, price was already here when I had woken up. So I was like, oh damn, I missed it. And I'm like, oh well, you know, it'll give me another opportunity in the New York session, which it did, kind of, not really, which is this pretty much this pullback here. And just looking at that, it was extremely messy, honestly. Very, very hard to play. Hard to play the initial drop. As you can see, when we come back into right, so looking at structure, essentially just looking at structure, right? Potential structure shift here, M4SC that I showed you guys in the morning, and I wanted to see how this would follow through. So we created a low, created a high, you know, took out liquidity on the low, and then broke structure here. So now from there, that's your structure shift. All right, we've now taken out this high, and we're now in the relative range of this previous high. So came back. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, it was right here. Potential inefficiency fill there. Same thing here. But I'm pretty sure there wasn't anything on M1. Yeah, there wasn't anything on M1. So that was a lot tougher of a trade. And honestly, I didn't even take it. I wasn't looking at it. Well, I was, but it's just, I wasn't really, you know, it wasn't attractive to me in the best manner. So it's just something that I just stayed away from. Like, I honestly had no real confirmations, as you could see. bearish volume ascending. No real reason to imply that this would go higher, besides the fact that this structure shifted there. But from there, it was pretty much the same play here, and those continued higher. So pretty much, I mean, honestly, it's just pretty much textbook, guys. Like, what is there something you guys need help with? Like, I know we got a lot of new guys. I don't know if we have a lot of new guys on here today. Doesn't really look like it. Majority of you guys have been in here for a couple weeks now. Yeah, the majority of you, honestly, like 80-90% have been in here for a week or two. I mean, not a week or two, like a month or two. So how's everything going? Whoever wants to speak up.
It's been going good. I was watching that pair breakdown that you did on EU and GU, and one of the things that you were talking about, you should only be paying attention to structure, narrative, and your bias. What exactly did you mean by narrative?
Reading price action before you find your bias. For
Oh, okay.
example, let me just try to make it simple. So to me, the way that I would see narrative is pretty much, let's say there's an SC here. Price comes, rejects that SC that is highly probable. So now I'm building the narrative that I'm now bullish on this. So all I'm doing now is finding a re-entry, which is, pretty much confirming my bias, and then that's when you take it. That's pretty much a simple way to explain it. So it's just pretty much your ability to read price action. Not ability, but more so how you read it and making a bias based off of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
How do you determine whether you're looking for buys or sells? Well, bro, just stick to your pairs and zoom out. This is bullish. Structure is bullish here. So I'm bullish on this. So I'm going to find every excuse I can to buy this. Same thing goes for EU. If you look at the older webinars, probably even some of the first ones, like you'll see exactly why I've been bullish. I mean, since here, which was the 50% here, and then I believe it was a 2-week. Yeah, 50% there, 50% there, and inefficiency fill there. So ever since we reacted from there, I've been pretty much bullish. I'm just kind of mad I didn't accumulate more orders here than I should have, especially here after the structure shift there. How many POIs do you consider too many POIs? I mean, that's subjective, bro. I only take my POIs from higher time frames usually, which is why I like to. I just mainly do that because I want to swing and I don't want to be on the charts a lot.
Hey, Alfredo.
Yes.
You see that first spike, right?
Which one?
The first spike that went up.
This one?
Yeah, that one right there. Isn't that a break of some sort of structure or no?
Yes. Yes, from this point of view, but once you start zooming in, let's see. Once you start zooming in, right, I would have anticipated, hold on, let me mark out a previous high for you, this previous high. So, based off of structure, just basic, you expect the previous quote unquote resistance to be support, right? So it's very relevant.
Right.
And however, it's subjective, but it's still relevant to me. So as I'm looking at this continue higher, right, I'm now looking for the pullback based off of this range.
Right. All right.
So not only that, as soon as we see this, pretty much the previous high just be pretty much wiped out completely, and then take out that previous low, this now
Change
shifts
the
to
bias.
bearish.
Right.
And
All right. Cool.
but you have to find the reason though. The reason why, like, I even switched that, I didn't take that sell at all. I waited for the buy to happen, just because I was waiting for that 50% to meet. 1.06.
All right, cool. Yeah, because that had me a puzzle for a sec. And then after, I started to look into it, I see some sort of reason why. Yeah, so.
So it's a BOS, well, not a BOS. Well, it technically is a BOS on the daily, but before you see it on a daily, it has to happen on intraday timeframes, right?
Right.
So you have to pretty much make sure that the smaller timeframes are also supporting that higher timeframe bias, and that creates high probable direction.
All right, makes sense. All right, thanks.
But yeah, anybody else? And then we can just get to the topic, and then we can just chill or whatever you guys want to do. Okay, cool. So did you guys read the post that I made? The RCV post today? That it pretty much revolved around I keep forgetting how to spell this name, man. Dunning. There you go. So this is actually very interesting because it differentiates the cognitive mind with ego, whereas what pretty much this is trying to tell you is pretty much you don't know what you don't know. So when you see a bit of success with the bits that you do know, you then overestimate your abilities, and with time that pretty much makes that initial luck run out, and you pretty much start going down instead of going up, which is exactly what happens here. Whereas I'll just explain this first. So let's say you're a trader, you're starting a couple months in, you're studying, and you come across institutional concepts, right? You learn your institutional candle, and now you realize, oh, I'm seeing success. So from here, all I got to do is keep practicing, right? So then you're now at a point where you're beginning to get confident, cocky, and lazy. So you're pretty much getting into a point where all I have to do is sell and buy institutional candles and put my SL below them. It's that easy. Yes and no, because although you use your institutional concepts, you still have to consider price. You got to consider obviously discount premium, structure, pair tendencies, price tendencies as a whole, all those other aspects. But you don't know that because you don't know what you don't know. So eventually the luck runs out, stuff goes down, right? Now you're coming to your senses. Why am I losing? I just had all this success. And you now start to humble yourself, right? Because now you're pretty much back at, 0.0 rock bottom, or even worse. So you now turn to realize that the solution is studying and staying true to either the method or, just staying true to the fact that you want to make trading, your full-time gig. So that's when you start seeing the light and you start actually studying again. You start looking for more information. And now you're pretty much in a mindset where I don't know shit, right? Although I have success, right? I don't know shit. So you have to pretty much embrace that, acknowledge that, and just keep that in your fucking head, because the second you start slacking off, that's gonna happen, and you're now gonna be even lower than when you were. And it goes for everybody, and it goes for every single industry, which is fucking insane. Because when I read about this, I was like, whoa, like chill, because this exact same thing happened to me, right? But before we go into that, it's like, look, right, you're now seeing the light, and now it's a slow movement to the top. You now become sustainable, profitable, happy, while still acknowledging that there's so much to the game that you don't know, right? So let me just, I guess, put that with my experience. It was like, okay, I started trading. Sergio signed me up like July, I think 2 years ago, July, but I didn't really start doing anything till October. So I don't consider my 2-year anniversary till October. So I pretty much studied, saw success, right? I saw really good success until pretty much like I was about 7-8 months into trading, and I don't really talk about this, but I had a swipe trades trial, and I was supposed to be on swipe trades to pretty much get in that initial group and then move my way up. But these motherfuckers wanted me to change my style from trading 5, 6, 7 to 1 to 1 to 1, and it wasn't that easy of a shift, even though on paper it really is. It's very easy, you know, but in reality, trying to switch your style like that is just, it wasn't for me, and it went bad, and depression hit, trading went to shit until about, I think October. Like September of around September of last year is when I finally started seeing that success again. Consistent success, not just success one week, bad the other, success one week, bad the other. And from there, I started building on my rules. I started acknowledging the fact that I don't know shit. I started to humble myself, right? We now leave IML, right? Find a new journey, right? Then I start creating the actual rules to all the concepts that we use, and then we start using them, giving them, success goes by, RCV is created, and pretty much here we are now. And pretty much a way that I do it to maintain myself accountable and pretty much keep myself humble is, for one, I don't call you guys students. I think that shit's corny. You guys aren't my students. I just show you guys cool stuff and you make money. Like it's not, it's not that deep, And like I also don't let you guys like, stroke my ego, because I don't want to get back to the point where I was here, and then have another cycle happen again, So pretty much the way that I keep sustainability is by pretty much making sure that I know that I still have tons to learn, which is why after school I'm getting my licenses. I'm actually going to start looking really deep into fundamentals, just stuff like that, just keep myself busy, give myself goals, and hold myself accountable. Right. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys feel like the same thing. And if you look at anybody doing like, or not even doing, if you see anybody in any industry, you will probably see the same cycle. Right? Does that make sense? And it's funny because like literally more than 90% of people go through the same cycle. Like it's literally the cycle of life. I'm not even fucking around with that. You're in the valley? Nah. Chill. I mean, that even ties back to what we spoke on one of the webinars from last week. Same thing that we spoke on, don't pick a bottom, but just start working hard, holding yourself accountable, setting goals, etc. Yeah, and that's fine. That everybody has to go through that. Like literally, it's why I don't trip when people like just ghost me for like 1 or 2 months, because look, I get it. Like I did the same thing. What time do you consider intraday until it's a scalping? Honestly, bro, under probably under 10-minute, I'd consider scalp structure, but anywhere around 10 and then above 10 intraday until like about H3, H4ish, then swing, and then that's until like daily, weekly. That would be more so position trading, stuff like that. But yeah, it's really cool. Like I really recommend you guys to look into this. I sent y'all a video on it. Or of something about it, like just in the same field, because I was really trying to research Dunning-Kruger effect versus ego, because it has its differences, but I can't explain it. But it's a really cool topic. Like honestly, I'm gonna start looking more into this stuff, because it makes me sound smart. It's really cool information and it's very helpful. Let me delete this. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I should finish journals tomorrow. Yeah, I should have them done tomorrow. Makes me sound smart. Nah, straight up, like, I sound super smart saying that. But yeah, this is cool. Like, it's a cool concept to learn or just talk about. So see, like it makes so much sense. Peak of Mount Stupid, 100%. Valley of Despair, that's pretty much the fuck what happened moment. Slope of enlightenment, you're finally coming into your senses. Studying more, going back to studying, journaling, fixing your attitude, being positive, and then sustainability is that consistent growth to the upside. Right, and then something cool to notice here is look at the range, right? Notice this is fast, this is fast, this is slow. Why? Because at the end of the day, in any industry, what's the one thing that you need in order to see long-term success is experience, right? And that experience is built with time, a lot of energy to then reach your goals, right? Experience, longevity, stuff that we've always talked about. The hype I had in my email went to my head at one point, caused me complacent. That's when I started to realize I really don't know shit. Yeah, that's what I knew that, bro. I was in the Trade House Discord. I know that. People fucking loved you, bro. I had to stay away from that group. Like, I literally did not open that Discord for weeks. It was just so AIDS, man. And that's no hate to them. That's no hate to them. But it's just, man, the corny stuff, I can't do it. And then after that, that's when we met, and then we had that conversation, and then that's pretty much where everything started. What made you leave IML? Oh, that's a long story. Hold on. I think other than that, I think I'm gonna end the recording there. Hold on.